Moving to a new place can be exciting, but it can be overwhelming. And Maryland is no different. It's a complex state. In our video today, here's the deal. Whether you've lived here all of your life and are just making a move across the state, or you're new to Maryland, we're gonna give you the do's and don'ts before making a move to Maryland. So make sure you buckle your safety belts, put those tray tables in the upright position because we're dropping all of this on you right now. Let's just get right into it and start with number one. And we're gonna start with the do's first, and then we're gonna hop on over to the don'ts. So make sure you stick around for the don'ts because these are things that you definitely don't wanna do when moving to Maryland. So the first thing you need to do is do your research. Do a little homework on the areas that you're gonna be exploring here in Baltimore. Naturally, most of you are gonna be coming for either work, the military relocated you, you're coming here to relocate with family, or you are a student attending one of our fabulous universities. Now, some things to consider before you find a place to settle down in are the things that you like to do besides work or going to school. And you want to be in decent proximity to a lot of those places. Say you like going to the beach. Well, let's try and find you a place within a 30-minute drive to Ocean City. Or conversely, maybe you like going running or hiking or something and you want to be near a place where you can get some good hikes in. We've got to look at places that you can live and still commute to work reasonably in so that you can fill both buckets in your life. Because hey, look, we all know life is too short to work all the time. And Maryland has so much to offer that you've got to move here and experience these great things that you're afforded just by being a resident here in the state of Maryland. Now, next thing with the homework, and this is an easy one. It's a sort of an insider secret when doing your research. You can YouTube the crap out of places to live in Maryland, okay? And I thank you for watching this video today. However, if you want to drill down and you want to learn the local vibe of a place, I encourage you to go out to places like Facebook, where you have thousands of actual residents who reside in the communities you're looking to live in, speaking their mind, telling you what's going on and what it's like, and see if you can find your little niche into one of these communities. That way you're getting the perspective of thousands in and around the area rather than just a few people here on YouTube or any other blog that you may be reading. All right, before we jump into number two, if this is your first time to our channel and you're looking to learn all about life in Maryland, great news. Guess what? You landed on the right spot. We do videos talking about living here, working here, chilling here, and so much more. So if that's the info that you're looking for and you're looking to dive deep into what it's like living in Maryland, hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to give the little bell a click. That way you're alerted every time we put out another video. Now, right now, my team and I, we are fielding calls from folks all over the world looking to make a move right here to Maryland, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move, whether it's now or in 90 days from now, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, whatever you need to do. Hey, we want to help you out and make your transition a smooth one here to Maryland. So let's jump in. The second item on your to-do list before moving to Maryland. Now, the second one, it's a given, okay? And this is not me putting my real estate hat on, but it is the truth. You need to work with an experienced real estate professional here in the area. There are so many things that go into not only finding a home, helping you purchase or rent that home, and you want that perspective of someone local who's going to sort of steer the ship for you and help you choose a great location that's going to suit you well. You may think, hey, I want to live in this area. And in reality, what you don't know is that's where traffic backs up and it's going to take you an additional 30 minutes to get to work each day. And you're better suited moving 5 miles east of there so that you don't have these inconveniences that you're not going to see or know about without boots on the ground, a local perspective, and someone looking out for your best interests. So it goes without saying, hire a pro. You're going to need it when moving here to Maryland. The third thing you need to do is determine the cost of living of where you're going to be residing here in the state of Maryland. Here's the good thing. Compared to our neighbors to the north, like Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, and all the way up into New England, living in Maryland is significantly cheaper. However, once you start getting around the Washington, D.C. corridor in areas like Bethesda, the cost of living just skyrockets. I'm talking like 10xing. It just jumps dramatically. And quite honestly, some of the areas in Bethesda are some of the highest priced areas to live in the entire country, more than areas like Hawaii or Beverly Hills. I mean, it's right on par with that because it is extremely expensive to live in and around Washington, D.C. So take that with with a grain of salt. Now, the average sales price for a home in the state of Maryland, according to our good friends over at Zillow, is $382,000 roughly. And then if you wanted to rent a decent place, say in like Baltimore County, probably looking at a budget of a minimum of about $1,600 for a nice place to live. Now, there's other costs associated with living here just besides putting a roof over your head. You need to insure your home, and insurance rates here are not the cheapest. And that goes not only for the house, but you got to check out your health insurance rates, and your employer should be able to help you out with that. And sometimes they can vary depending upon where you live, specifically in the state. I know it sounds weird, but I've seen it happen. And then the final thing, staying in the insurance lane, is your auto insurance. And this is the big part. You got to pay attention here. Go and get an auto insurance quote from your carrier prior to moving here, because I'm gonna tell you, it's going to shock you. Unless you're coming from, say, New York City, it's probably gonna be a little bit cheaper, but if you decide to reside in Baltimore City or inside of Annapolis, inside the city limits, the premiums on car insurance rates are through the roof. They're like double what they would be if you were to live in a county. So really look at that. And then the final thing that I think you need to take into consideration are the cost of getting around, your commuting cost. Are you gonna be using public transportation, taking the train or one of our bus lines or the subway? You gotta figure out those costs. Are you gonna be commuting through one of our tunnels? Because we have tolls everywhere. And oh, by the way, did I mention when you get here to Maryland, what you have to do to your vehicle? It's like they're doing a medical exam on your vehicle. You're gonna have to get your vehicle safety inspection completed, as well as your emissions test to make sure your car is not polluting the environment. So really dive in, really look at these costs, because you might be in for a little bit of sticker shock when moving to Maryland. The next thing you gotta do is you gotta bring your sense of adventure here to Maryland. And in reality, Maryland is known as the mini America, and for good reason. In reality, you can do all of the things that you could do pretty much all across the US right here in Maryland. So if you wanted to go hiking in the mountains and exploring, fantastic news, you can head out to Western Maryland and do that. If you're a boater and just wanted to ride around in the water all day long, we have the Chesapeake Bay for you. Maybe the sand and being at the beach is your thing, and you can do that right in Ocean City, Maryland. And it's not just limited to those activities, but those are staples that you're able to do right here in Maryland. If you like to bike, run, all the trails that you can explore in and around the Baltimore metro area and throughout the state, it's all here for you. So bring your sense of adventure, be ready to have some fun, because you'll be able to do it and finally take up that hobby that you've been putting off when you move here to Maryland. Hey, if you are finding value in this video, you know what? It would mean the world to me if you would hit that like button down below. It's the one that looks like a little thumbs up. It does huge things for me. It keeps the wind in my sails. It keeps me producing videos just like this one for you. And you know what? I love doing this stuff, and I just need to feel some love. So if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button down below. Don't forget to drop your comments below. Maybe you have a specific question about an area of Maryland. Maybe it's like, hey, what's a good spot to go running on a Sunday afternoon in Montgomery County? Whatever it might be, I want you to drop it down below, because here's the deal. Not only do people moving to Maryland watch these videos, tons of Marylanders watch these videos, and they're gonna be able to chime in and help you out, because that's what we do here in Maryland. Now, we gotta jump in and we gotta look at the things you don't wanna do and the mistakes you need to avoid here. And the first one, it has to be the commute. Now, I alluded to this earlier, but you don't wanna overlook commuting in and around any area in Maryland, especially in the Baltimore and Washington, D.C. corridor, because the traffic can be hellacious at times, and you certainly don't wanna get stuck in an area only to realize, oh crud, it's gonna take me 45 minutes more to get to work than what I had originally thought. So we have tools as real estate agents, and we can help project the time. You know, if you were to leave at 7 a.m., how long would it take you to get to your office? We can help you out with that. There's tools on like Google Maps, etc., where you can really try and pinpoint things down and look for the optimal times to leave. And this is imperative. For those of you that are working in Washington, D.C., this needs to be number one on your list, because this commute to Washington, D.C., it's nerve-wracking. It really is. So again, don't overlook the commute. Make sure you double, triple check that, and alternatively look for additional ways to shorten your commute. The second thing, you have to be aware of the extremes in the weather that we can experience here in Maryland. Right now, it's February, it's cold outside, but guess what? We haven't seen snow yet this year. But this is a rare thing because typically, and I just saw a memory pop up on Facebook like in 2011, got hit with like 20 inches of snow in like 24 hours. So large amounts of snow can fall here. Ice can happen. I mean, I can go on and on with the winter weather. Gets a little better in the spring, but then come summertime, boy, is it hot. Frigid temperatures with 100% humidity. And those of you that are not used to humidity, if you're coming from the Midwest and you've not been in a humid environment before, it's like being in a rainforest. You're soaked, you're dripping wet, and you're having trouble breathing. I kid you not, in these hot, humid temperatures. And then guess what? We repeat the cycle all over. Now, the worst challenge that we may face, besides the snow and everything that it brings, is that we can get, on rare instances, hurricanes and tropical storms that will hit our area. And we provide those storms with a great expressway to get to us via the Chesapeake Bay. So sometimes the bay is really warm in late August, early September, and these storms will snake right up the Chesapeake Bay and hit us, right in the mouth. And it's not fun to deal with, but you need to be aware of it before making a move to Maryland. All right, the next thing you gotta make sure you do or don't do is don't forget to do your research on schools for your kids. Because, I've seen it all too often before. Like, people get caught up like, okay, hey, we're gonna be living here and we're gonna have a 10-minute commute. Like, do you realize you're not in the greatest school district by living in that area? So here's where I'm going with this. Do your research for the kiddos first, because you know what? As adults, we all have cars, and even though our job is located, you wanna live 5-10 minutes away, move 30 minutes away, commute into your job, get your kids in the best school system that you can. Now, I want to tell you and give you a few steps here. Number one, go out to places like greatschools.org. It's one I often reference quite often here when doing videos for the channel. Go to niche.com is another great one. But more importantly, drill down locally. You know how I told you to go out to Facebook groups? You can do the same thing for the school systems here. And it's great because you get real life things that are happening in the schools. If there's a challenge going on in the school, guess what? Parents are talking about it online and you'll be able to find it. So go out there, go to even Google Maps is another great one, because you can actually type in the school and you're gonna be able to see reviews from real parents talking about what's going on. And the funniest part is you actually see students in there chiming that they didn't like a certain teacher. And I sort of get a kick out of that when doing some research on schools here in the area. So it's actually quite funny to do, but nevertheless, do your research on schools to make sure your kids get in the best school system here in the state of Maryland. So my friends, those are the do's and don'ts before making a move to Maryland. Now, if a move to Maryland is in your near future, as I mention all the time, my team and I, we would love to help you out in your transition, but we just need one thing from you, and that's for you to reach out and connect with us. So please give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, whatever you need to do. My team and I, look, we've got your back. We're moving here from Baltimore down the bay to the beaches in Ocean City. We have you covered. Now, before you go, look, I picked out another video for you. Check this video out. I think it's gonna help you out in your transition here to Maryland. Until the next video, my friends, have a great day and we'll talk soon.